This version of this cake tasted terrible. Not undercooked, not overbaked, bitter. The batter was perfect, lemony, sweet, exactly right. It went into the oven and came out tasting like something went wrong at a chemical level. Something did. The sweetener I used was allulose, one of the most recommended sweeteners in low-carb baking right now. And it failed in this recipe in a specific, predictable way that the people recommending it don't tell you about. This video is about what sweetener actually belongs in a high heat cake, why the others fail, and what you need to know before you commit to any of them. The whole lemon still goes in, skin and all. That part was never the problem. Here's what happened. Allulose is a close relative of fructose, and it starts browning at around 220 degrees Fahrenheit. Regular sugar doesn't caramelize until over 300 degrees. That gap matters enormously in a hot oven. This recipe runs at 375 degrees convection. And I'm at altitude, where the heat effect is amplified. Add baking powder and baking soda, which are both alkaline, reacting with allulose under high heat, and you get a bitter compound before the center has even set. The batter tasted perfect because allulose raw is clean and sweet. There's no off taste at room temperature that I found. The problem only shows up under heat with leavening in an acidic batter. Lemon is acidic, right? Keto wheat flour has protein. So protein plus allulose plus high heat is exactly the condition that drives aggressive browning and bitterness. I want to let you in on something. I've never fully explained on this channel, and honestly, it's the reason I approach food differently than most cooking channels you'll find on YouTube. I'm a culinary trained attorney. I spent years in professional kitchens before I went to law school. And what that combination gave me is something I didn't expect. The ability to research what's actually in our food, the same way I'd research a legal case. Primary sources, regulatory standards, peer-reviewed evidence, not trends, not fear, not someone's opinion on Instagram. Every ingredient I use, every product I recommend, every swap I suggest runs through the same filter. Is it backed by evidence, not trends? And then, how do we make it work in a real kitchen with real food that actually tastes good and is affordable? I call that the healthy skillet standard, and it's always been how I work. You just didn't have a name for it until now. That means when I tell you something is worth your money or worth your trust, it's not because a brand paid me or because it's trending. It's because I did the research. That's the promise of this channel, and I'm glad you're here for it. Allulose is generally excellent for other applications: caramel sauces, lemon curd, ice cream, cheesecakes that don't require high heat baking or are no-bake recipes. For this cake at this temperature with these ingredients, it was the wrong tool. That's not a failed recipe, it's a sweetener mismatch. The method is unchanged. The sweetener is the only variable that matters here. Everything wet goes into the blender first: lemon, sweetener, butter, cottage cheese, eggs, and we blend until completely smooth. No visible lemon pieces, no curd. Then sift your dry ingredients into a bowl. Keto wheat flour clumps and uneven leavening is what causes a center that won't set. Add the dry to the blender and pulse or mix together in a bowl. The moment it looks incorporated, stop. Pour immediately into your prepared pan and get it in. Don't let it sit. Coconut sugar browns like regular sugar, predictably and at the right rate, so you have more control than with allulose. If you use a monk fruit blend, the browning will be slightly less pronounced. Either way, if the surface is a deep golden and the center still moves when you nudge the pan, tint it loosely with foil right now. You're looking for a center that springs back when you press it. Not glossy, not liquid. Firm. That's your done signal. You wouldn't know looking at this that this contains allulose. It has a clean edge, no cracks, even crumb all the way through. And we dusted with powdered sugar right before we were ready to serve. And we wait till we're ready to serve because any powdered sweetener pulls moisture if it sits. One clean cut with a sharp knife. You can see the texture. It's not gummy. It's not dry. So if the sweetener matched the application, it would have tasted good. But we didn't know. The whole lemon is still in there, skin, pith, everything. And the lemon comes through all the way to the edge because the blender releases the oils from the skin. That part of the recipe didn't change, but the sweetener needs to. Now you know why this lemon cake didn't work, and it wasn't the cottage cheese. It was the allulose meeting high heat. So in my next video, I'm going back to the same hero ingredient, the same flavor profile, and I'm going to show you exactly how to get it right. No oven, no bitterness, just clean ingredients doing exactly what they are supposed to do. The redemption is coming, and it is everything this should have been. If you want to know when that video drops, subscribe and hit the bell, and I will see you in the kitchen.